Okay, this should be a one and done thing. There is no script, there's no ledger. This is basically just a rant about PlayStation and how I think that personally they're gonna flop. They're gonna flop super hard unless they deliver the AAA game of our dreams, the AAA game of the century. So let's get into it. So everybody I know, they can't get a PS5. The only people I know who have a PS5 is a kid in Japan whose uncle won it out of a vending machine. That is the only person I know in real life that has a PlayStation 5. Everybody else that plays PlayStation, or used to in my life, they can't get their hands on one. Bots keep snatching them. It doesn't matter how late they stay up. It doesn't matter how many alerts they put on their phone or their computer. They're not getting them. The only people who are getting them are the people willing to pay triple the price from scalpers. And that's why when I talk to people online who actually have them, they're talking about rich bags who are the only ones in the gamer chat rooms because nobody else got them. The only people who got them were the people with the money to burn on a system that doesn't even have a good release of AAA games out yet. So my argument is this. Sony messed up, and I'll tell you where Sony messed up. They thought the strength of their name and the name of PlayStation and their allegedly good AAA games would be enough to make people fight past the limited stock and pay for the console anyway. I don't think they cared if you had to get it from the store or if you had to get it from a scalper, and I don't think they cared that it upset fans that they couldn't get accessibility to the very console that was being dropped. I think they only cared about whether they got money. Scalpers paid, so they got money, but the residual money is now at risk because who's paying PS Plus? Who's paying the monthly subscription to get access to multiplayer and all the other goodies or whatever that they sell on PlayStation? Probably nobody, because hunks of PlayStations are sitting in scalpers' garages and outposts and storage lockers collecting dust. Like I don't think anybody's playing them that's not the rich kids or the rich adults who paid the money for them. So they're the only ones who are on the like subscription basis that all games have tried. Like a lot of medias have moved to try and get money from. Pay month by month. I'm old enough to remember where you didn't have to do that, but I digress. I don't know a lot about the graphics or the science behind it. I don't know a lot about the business behind it. I'm just speaking off the cuff, so I admit if I say some stuff wrong. This is just supposed to be a rant of someone who just plays games. I'm just a regular gamer. Like I don't get into all the behind the scenes of everything else. If I see a game I like, I'll buy it. If I see a console I enjoy, I'll get it. And that's been since like the early 2000s. So, and I've noticed over the years like a slow, gradual increase of resorting to getting the money from instead of making a good game, the companies and the industry will push microtransactions. They'll push the month-to-month subscriptions. They'll push loot boxes and big deal, like all this kind of like nonsense, especially through the kids, with Apex Legends and Fortnite, all this nonsense. Instead of just making a good game, it's like they're all trying to like copy and paste Overwatch or get games that were good, like GTA and Skyrim, milked the out of them, get games that were good like Forza and 2K and just literally like reskin the whole thing Assassin's Creed style with the same functions, with the same main bugs that nobody wants to fix. Like you can be a rapper in 2K now, but you can't play. They won't fix the bugs in that game. Well, moving on. All these PlayStation fans that were excited for PlayStation, one, they see the AAA games flop. They saw the catastrophe that was Cyberpunk 2077. Spider-Man was cool, but it wasn't cool enough to pay for a PS5 triple the price. And so I don't know what you could expect or want from people past that point. The people who would have bought the console when it first dropped, they're not going to because it costs too much from scalpers. They can't get it from normal retailers, and it's not worth it anymore because all the first launch of AAA games and all the other games are like not worth the money, and the minor league games that don't fall in that category are not motivating enough for people to purchase the console itself. And so this is like a collapsing infrastructure of PlayStation that I think is happening right now, that I don't think, which Sony should have anticipated, PlayStation should have anticipated, but they didn't. And so now this is happening. I think two things are going to happen. Either PlayStation is going to release the best AAA second release games we've ever seen, or PlayStation is going to be a huge financial flop of epic proportions because all the residuals they were planning on making from that console and the games over the next decade or two, it's not going to happen. If they lost half their user base who just got bored of waiting to be able to maybe buy a PS5 to play games that might be good. I'm hoping we get really cool games out the chute in the future, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, you want to know who I see who is happy, who's not upset about lack of quality games or lack of accessibility to the console itself? Xbox folks. PC folks have been winning forever. Let's not even go there. But Xbox folks in particular, Microsoft came through. Honestly, I don't play Xbox, but the people I know that play Xbox are very pleased with the games that have come out with the rollout, and they still play their Xbox to this day. The PlayStation people I know are not playing anything. Because none of them have the PlayStation, and if they did, there would be nothing to play that they want. And that's no shade to the indie developers who came out with probably great games, but I'll never know, because I can't get the damn thing. So we'll see what happens. That's not even getting into cost. That's not even getting into, there's so much to this problem. Maybe the numbers look great on their end. Maybe the profit margins are being hit. Maybe the stockholders are happy. Maybe everything numerically and data-wise makes all the sense in the world. I'm just telling you what I notice from the streets. And what I'm noticing from the streets is that nobody who loves PlayStation has a PlayStation or wants to pay for one. And most of them are starting to forget that they cared about PlayStation because it's been so long since they last actually played it with a good game. And that's adults and kids alike. That's not just older people. That's young people, the people that give the biggest profit margin. Not to mention these games are $70 base value? $80, $90, $100 special edition. It's nothing. You'd have to make something of quality for someone to drop that much money on a single game. And with the internet now, everybody can see, people can see what the gameplay is like 10 days before the game even drops on the, and they can see exactly what's up, if the graphics are good, if the gameplay is good. They have all the vloggers in the world to tell them if it's worthwhile or not, or to tell you every single critique that there could be to find on the game. So I think it'd be worth more their while to actually invest in the games themselves to get people back on the bandwagon. Maybe this will be a good thing for gamers in the end. Who knows? Look, I just want to play games. I just want to give you my money and play the games.